there. Today we are diving into the ancient wisdom of Vedanta and exploring the paths to spiritual emancipation. It's like a roadmap to finding your true self. And trust me, it's fascinating. So, Vedanta talks about four paths. Each of the four paths is a unique trail to the divine. One of these paths is named the path of desireless action. It is also called Karam Marga. The second path is named as the path of devotion or Bhakti Marga. Next, there is path of the union or Yoga Marga. And the fourth is the path of knowledge or Jnana Marga. Of these four paths, the path of devotion and the path of knowledge can be stated as primary paths because the path of desireless action and the path of union are included in the knowledge and devotion. For example, the path of desireless action means the seeker is dedicating all activities for the sake of the divine, not for their own sake. It is also the path of service. What one does in their life, for example, what do they do in their profession or their personal life? They offer all those as the service to the divine. They say the work I do is to please the Almighty. They do it for the love of God. Similarly, the path of union or yoga also reflects one's devotion to the divine. Therefore, the actual paths are only two. One is for knowledge and the other is for devotion. Or it could also be stated that the path of knowledge and the path of devotion are the primary means, while the path of union and desireless action complement them. If any spiritual practice does not contain an element of either the path of knowledge or the path of devotion or both, it cannot lead the seeker to spiritual emancipation. That means the seeker cannot free themselves from the bondage of body-mind persona. But here's the twist. You cannot fully grasp the knowledge of the true self without devotion. The reason is that to know yourself, you need to love yourself also. In saying this, I do not mean that you love your persona, but I mean that we must feel an intense love for our essential being. If we do not feel intense love for our true being, our attention will remain focused on the persona. The persona is the fake version of yourself. Our love for our true self helps us relinquish the false individual self, which is a cherished identity we often keep holding to. So, knowledge and devotion to the true being become essential tools for breaking free from the illusion of the persona. We can't truly know ourselves without love, and we can't authentically love without knowing. This reciprocal dynamic implies that genuine knowledge fuels love and deep love increases our understanding of ourselves. Sage Sri Ramana Maharshi, a revered spiritual teacher, emphasized self-inquiry and self-surrender as the dual pathways to realization. While these two ways, self-inquiry and self-surrender, may seem distinct, these paths are essentially two sides of the same coin, both converging towards the absolute reality. Ramana Maharshi frequently used the term Atma Vichara, meaning self investigation. It's like using your detective skills to investigate your inner world, keenly attending to your essential being, or the I am that is always there. On the flip side, self surrender is like handing over the reins to a higher power, acknowledging that there is something greater than your everyday self. It is about letting go of the ego and embracing the infinite. But self inquiry and self surrender are not two separate roads. Whether you are into investigation of yourself or prefer letting go and surrendering, both paths lead to rediscovering your natural state of being. The spiritual journey requires both intellectual investigation and heartfelt surrender. Our love for our true being becomes the driving force that enables us to let go of attachments to the personal self, leading the way for a deeper connection with the infinite. In nutshell, Vedanta is showing us that the path to spiritual emancipation is this beautiful amalgamation of love and knowledge. So, my friends, whether you are diving into self inquiry or surrendering to the cosmic flow, remember it's all about love and knowing. Embrace both, and you are on the way to experiencing the absolute reality within you. Thanks for turning in and happy exploring on your spiritual journey.